Hey guys, it's Charlie here, VE7CQE, with another episode of Ham Talk. This time around, we're going to do a little bit of chatting about radios and the law. Bum, bum, bum. Well, I've heard a lot of people say, well, you know what, anybody can buy a ham rig and listen to any, as long as they're just listening. Well, yes and no. Depending on where you live, it may be illegal. Like Canada, for instance, although it's generally not enforced a lot, it is actually illegal to possess a ham radio, to sell, or to purchase one without a valid amateur radio operator certificate or a ham ticket. A big part of that is because there are an awful lot of people that are buying the cheap ham radios and using ham bands that don't have a license, and it's just causes problems and strife and whatnot, and interference, which is not a good thing. Now, when it comes to different privileges, Canada and the United States and other countries all name them different things. Canada, for instance, we have the basic license, basic with honors, and then we have the advanced. There are 3 classes of license, and then of course you have your add-on qualifications, which is your 5 word per minute Morse, 12 word per minute Morse, and so forth. Each give you different privileges. United States, you have your technician, you have your general, you have your advanced, and different privileges for different things. In Canada, the basic ham license allows you essentially 2 meters, 70 centimeter bands, and very limited on your power. Basic with honors, which if you score more than 80% on your exam, or back when it was instituted, when honors was instituted, if you'd been a ham for more than a number of years, you were grandfathered into the honors, allows you access to the HF bands, but again, you have a limit on the amount of power that you can use. Which is fine. It doesn't bother me at all. Most hams it doesn't bother at all either. Advanced would be to say your advanced class here would be the same as your advanced class in the United States, where you have to know your electronic theory, you have to demonstrate the knowledge of the formulas and what works where, and so on and so forth, and that opens up a whole new world for you. Now, coming to legalities. In Canada, like I said, it's illegal to sell, purchase, or possess an amateur radio without having a ham ticket. Plain and simple. Most stores that I know in most places don't bother to check for it, so people just walk in and buy one. Personally, I think if they're going to make a law that requires you to have a ham ticket to own or possess a radio, then the outlets that sell them should be required to verify that you have your ham ticket, your ham license, before they sell it to you. It's kind of a unenforceable law when the stores that sell the ham gear aren't required to check for it. So there's really no way of knowing if the person buying it has their ticket or not. Just let me turn this off here. There you go. Has a ham ticket or not. So it makes it even hard to enforce, and let's face it, it's really difficult. Now, cheap radios. I hear a lot of talk about cheap radios, how they're ruining the hobby, and so on and so forth. I tend to disagree. My wife and I, Miss Tina and I, both have cheap little radios. Guess which one's which, and if you guess wrong, I'm not going to be too pleased with you. This is hers. I tend to like them, and I tend to appreciate the fact that they're there because it allows the new hams to enter the hobby at a price point that is workable for them. It has opened up the world of amateur radio for a lot of people that otherwise wouldn't be able to afford it. Bang for your buck? Well, there are a lot of HTs out there, a lot of great brand name. ICOM, Kenwood, Yaesu. As I stated before, and I'll state it again, I do not have any particular loyalty to any particular brand or manufacturer. I don't endorse any particular name or brand. I go strictly by the performance of the individual radio itself and its price point. Baofeng, Chinese radio. A lot of people make fun of them, but they maybe, the price point, they're pretty much a disposable radio, but amazingly enough, they work really, really well. You can get a good Baofeng for $50, $60 as opposed to a $400 HT from another brand. Again, it's a matter of personal preference, what each operator or what you think is right for you, which one you like and what features you like on it most. For base radios, well, again, there's different radios, different manufacturers, different brands. Personally, I've tested the Yaesu FT991A. I've tested the Kenwoods. I've tested everything. The one I found for the price point that gives you the most bang for your buck is what I have, which is the IC7300 by ICOM. This little radio does everything that you want it to do and has a few bells and whistles that you won't find on your very base end radio. But for anything you want to do, it's got it all in spades. It's fantastic radio, sounds good, transmits good, and I will say this, I have never heard an internal speaker on a radio sound as good as I have with this thing. It's got an amazing sound to it. But that's my personal preference, my personal thought on it. Yours may be different. There's no wrong answer to what radio you should or shouldn't have, and don't let anybody tell you any different. It is entirely up to you. You're the one that has to use it. You're the one that's going to be operating it. You're the one that has to like it. Go with what you like. If you come to quality or comparisons, then you can ask me, and I will more than gladly compare them for you and give you my thoughts on it. But in the end of the day, it's up to you which one you want to use. So remember, the points on this are simple. If you're in Canada and you want a ham radio, you better have a ham ticket. According to the Radio Communications Act, it can carry up to a $25,000 fine and a year in jail. Doesn't say it will. Depends if that's the maximum penalty that can be given. I don't know if it ever has or not, but it's on the books, so be careful about it, all right? And as for which radios to get, again, personal preference. I can tell you how different ones perform, but in the end, it's up to you. Have a great day. 7-3 from me, Sterling the Wonder Dog, and Miss Tina, and we'll sign off for that. This is Charlie, VE7CQE for Ham Talk.